Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a tutorial for you on how to make a prop head by filling a latex mask with soft polyfoam. We're going to be using two different polyfoam systems today. The first from Monster Makers, just because I have a little bit left over from the last time I filled a mask. And the second I got from Brick in the Yard. It's the same mix ratio, it's about the same kind of stuff. We're just going to be using this first, just to fill up a little bit of the detail area, and then we're going to fill the rest with this. They're both 2 part B to 1 part A mixtures. This is F-3 PolyFoam from Brick in the Yard. So it's a good soft foam for making prop heads with. So we'll get right to it. Okay, so all the supplies you're going to need for this to foam fill a head is you're going to need a digital scale of some sort, some rubber or nitrile gloves, several disposable cups, something soft to set your head on, your polyfoam, of course, and a head to fill. Now, the reason I'm filling the mask while it's still painted and haired and everything ready to go, as opposed to filling the mask while it's still raw latex in the mold, is because when you punch hair, you gotta somehow secure the bottom side of the hair to the inside of the mask. So if I filled it with foam first while it was still just a raw latex cast inside the mold, then I'd just be punching hair into the foam, and there would be nothing to hold the hair in place to keep people from pulling the hair out, or whatever. You can do the method where you still have the latex just sitting in the mold and dry, and you can fill that with polyfoam while it's still in the mold. That's a little bit easier, just because you have the mold to support and keep the shape of the mask. We're gonna do it this way just because there are a lot of people out there who collect masks or busts or whatever, and they want to know how to fill their mask so that here in several years down the line it doesn't, latex will deteriorate, but if you fill it with foam, it'll slow that process down by keeping it supported. So that's the way I'm going to show you how to do it. I think there's a couple videos on how to do it while the latex is still in the mold out there on YouTube. Those are good resources if you want to do it that way, but this is my way of doing it, so here we go. Alright, so what I've done is I've gone ahead and set my mask in the pile of grocery bags just to keep it supported on something soft, as opposed to just setting it on a table and you'd have a flat top of the mask, or trying to hold it, have somebody else hold it. That doesn't always work out so well. So I just go ahead and set it on a pile of grocery bags, make like a donut kind of thing around it to support the edges and stuff, keep it from falling over. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing. I got my my solo cup over here and a scale, which we probably really won't need on this first batch since we pretty much only got this much left in this first set of polyfoam here. So we'll just mix the remaining whatever's left of this polyfoam first, and then we'll use our stuff from Brick in the Yard that we have a full set of here. So you also need a mixing stick, and my mixing stick is really gross and bad, and I probably should have a new one, but I don't have anymore, so this is it. So go ahead and whenever you're ready, make sure that your mask is well supported, that it's keeping its shape really well. Try not to get this on your gloves, by the way, because if you're going to be touching your mask and it's already painted and everything, you definitely don't want to get polyfoam on the outside of your mask. You want to keep that inside the mask. So try not to get this stuff on your gloves. You always want to put part B in first. This stuff is thicker, which makes it harder to pour into the cup. So you always want to do this first, because then you can pour this in really quick and mix it really well. the thing about polyfoam is it goes off really fast and it'll start to expand before you think it will. So you always want to make sure you're ready, you got all your stuff laid out that you're going to need. So always do part B first. So we're going to go ahead and pour part B into our container here. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of this left. This is the stuff from Monster Makers, and it's worked really well for me as far as I've used it. So yeah, I like this stuff. I'm going to try to get all of it out of there, because polyfoam isn't cheap and I don't have a whole lot of it. So I'm going to try to get just about all of it out of there. Alright, that's the end of this bottle. So we've got our part B in this cup here. We're going to take our part A. Now don't mix this stuff if you're not ready to, so, because it'll go off, whether you think it will or not. This stuff's kind of glued on there from the last time I used it, so I'm going to cut the video real quick so I can get the cap off. Alright, so I just went ahead and totally cut the top off the bottle here because I'm going to be using all of this. Don't let this stuff sit. Don't let part A sit with stuff on the inside of the lid here, because it'll crystallize and you won't be able to get your lid open easily at all. So you can see that little ring. It's all glued down. This lid's all glued down. So the audio might be messed up a little bit in this next part just because I'm going to be over here, and I can't be right next to the camera all the time because I got to really work fast with this stuff. So this is how you do it. You're just going to go ahead and dump your part A in there, get it out real quick, and then immediately start mixing it real well. Make sure you scrape the sides and everything, and then immediately dump it in to your mask. Alright, you want to, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to tilt the foam down into the nose area, because you want to fill it up and make sure that you don't get a big air pocket down in the nose. You want to make sure it's all filled up down here in the face. You can see that little bit's already starting to expand in there. Again, that is really a little bit of foam, so it's not a whole lot that I just put in there, but it'll still expand. It's expanding here. Alright, you don't want to mess with it too much though, because well, if you agitate the foam too much, if you start touching it and poking it and stuff, foam is basically composed of tiny little air bubbles within this chemical reaction. So when you start messing with it, it pops those bubbles and your foam will collapse on you. And you don't want that, because then you've just wasted all your money and energy with trying to foam something, and you've collapsed it because you've been messing with it. So don't do that. Don't do that. Just let it chill out there, and it'll start foaming up at its own pace. Another thing that I didn't tell you guys yet, you want to definitely make sure that you work in small batches. Don't go and make a big batch of foam, because a little bit of foam can actually go a long way. This little bit of foam here is already filling up like about a third of the head. You can't see it right now because I'm not messing with it like I told you guys, but I'll go ahead and try and show you. That little bit of foam, it's going a long way. So don't go and think that you gotta mix up tons and tons of foam to make sure that you fill the head. It'll fill. You just gotta relax and do it in batches. So yeah, we'll wait for that to fill up, and I'll show you guys the next batch of foam using Brick in the Yard's F-3 PolyFoam.